Hello everybody. We're going to go through a demo today of the PeopleSoft Test Framework Workbench. It's an SCI developed bolt-on application that allows the automation of PeopleSoft Test Framework scripts. So right now we're going into the Test Framework Workbench and we're going to set up a test group. A test group is simply a combination of scripts that you want to run in a particular order. So for this test, we're actually going to test group. We're going to create. We're going to add it from the General Ledger library. This is a delivered library of scripts that come with the tool, developed by SCI. The scripts, that is. So we're going to pick the online journal entry. We're going to edit the online journal. And then we are going to copy a journal. As you notice, as we're clicking on them, it does give a sequence number to the right there, and that is showing the order in which the test scripts will execute. So now we're going to run this test group that we just created, put in our password for the user ID, and we'll get to jump over to our process monitor to watch the process run. The actual time it took to run these 3 scripts in the test group was about 8 minutes. We've cut out the time and just jumped right to the end here. So that's the SCI PTF-EXE. That is the Workbench executable that feeds the test cases to the test framework that's running on the NT process scheduler. You can see that all 3 tests have run. We can also look at the log for it and see that they have all run. The last one, copying journals, actually kicked off an additional app engine, and so that's what you see on the next line above here, the journal copy line, and that's kicked off by our copy journal test script. So just going in there and seeing that it ran successfully. And there we go. So now let's go back into our test framework workbench. And we can take a look at some of the other information that's available. So this is the detailed test details page. We can see everything. You can see everything that's been run. We can look at it based on the user ID who ran it or the test group that executed. So right now I've picked the test group that we ran. We can see the 3 tests that we ran in the test group, and we can see the status was passed for each one. We can also look at the logs. We're going to actually see the logs for every time this particular test has been run, but the one at the very top is going to be the last time it was run, and that's going to be the one that's associated with this test group. So we can see that. We can see the logs for the others. We can also go in and edit the parameters for each of these tests. So if we wanted to run it again, but with different parameters, we could actually go in and update the values that are being fed to the test script without actually ever having to open up the PeopleSoft test framework tool itself. We can also go to the review details page and see analytics based on the group that we just ran. We could see the status of the jobs, the results, and we can, if we want to see a little more detail than what we see there, we can actually do it based on different test groups, a date range, or even just by user ID. So what I'm going to do here is we're going to look at all the results of all test groups that were run by the SCI user ID, which will give us a bigger sampling to give us a little more information on that analytics page. So again, you can see passes, fails, warnings, errors, etc. And then you could go back to the details page and drill directly into the ones that you wanted to look for. So that's the end of our quick test framework workbench demo, and thanks for watching.